So why have the scientists made carbon the big bad?
That's an interesting discussion because, in particular, carbon dioxide is produced as a byproduct of fossil fuel use. And so we can say that the carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere is going up. It's a greenhouse gas, so it's trapping energy, and that's why we're getting warming temperatures. But the most important greenhouse gas on the planet is not carbon dioxide, it's water vapor. And I was in a congressional hearing, and in particular, I believe it was Senator Vitters who asked Dr. Michael Mann about it. And he said, if water vapor is the most important greenhouse gas, then why are you so fixated on carbon dioxide? And I thought Mann was going to say essentially, well, it's because carbon dioxide is being produced, it stays in the atmosphere long term, giving some sort of scientific answer. The answer he actually gave was because we can regulate carbon. We can't regulate water. And so I think that's the key. Carbon is produced as a byproduct of fossil fuel use, and therefore we can control the fossil fuel use so we can regulate that. Even though water vapor is a much more important greenhouse gas, it cycles quite a bit. You can't stop the oceans from evaporating. We can't regulate water vapor into the atmosphere, so it's not an issue. But carbon dioxide can be, and that's what they were after.
All right, well, that makes sense. And it's sad, but it also scares me because somebody is going to go out there and say, well, we've got to limit your water intake or something nonsense like that.
I think that's exactly coming down the road. I mean, water is necessary for life. We've got people living in deserts that really shouldn't be there. We've got limited water resources because, they're in deserts, and so they have limited water resources. The question then is, where are we going to get water for these people? And the answer is going to be water rationing, or at some point making people go away. And again, that goes back to the population control. Less people means less water demand, less water usage, and that works for them.
So I just see the brilliance of this because if you use the quote science and I am, by the way, Dr. Fauci who says I am science, he may get into the climate industry now that he's left government and the healthcare industry. But the point being is that if the scientists can say this is the way it is and everybody agrees with me, even though that's not true, they now have the ability to regulate our energy use. We've talked about food and maybe possibly even water. All the elements of life necessary can be controlled by the elite technological, scientific people, even though they're not using real data.
That's correct. I mean, energy too. I mean, the way we have developed as a country, we have developed as a civilization by using energy. And what we really need to pull people out of poverty is cheap, affordable energy. If you make energy expensive and difficult to obtain, you're going to make people push people back into poverty. You're going to make them have a more difficult time to survive. And again, that pushes you towards only having fewer people.
Yeah, no, I think about Africa. If you want to bring up the standard of living in the nations of Africa, you need transportation. What are we going to do? Say, well, you got to put in electric charger stations and all electric vehicles. I don't think they're in any way prepared to do that. But if you could just take some gasoline and put an internal combustion engine, you can change the world with that. No, you make brilliant points, and I really appreciate it. Dr. Legates, what's the best way to follow you? Is it independent.org?
You can go to the Independent Institute. I'm also working with the Cornwall Alliance. So you can go to cornwallalliance.org. It's a Christian organization that's interested in with scientists, theologians, economists to try to find poverty issues and to promote the gospel that way.